Other than the state and the American propaganda network, I may be able to convince people that I am right who just are very mad at what I've said. So let me start off by saying this, and I'll tell you right now, I believe that I've been wronged more, and it is going to be sincere, but, you know, let's make no mistake. I still feel insulted, and I'm doing this to be the better man. I apologize if I offended any innocent martial artists, in the process of calling out the guilty, and if I was too harsh on the guilty. However, I do believe I am the top martial artist, and that is not just something I say to look cool or something like that. I think you all know that by now. I have a lot of respect for different martial arts, capoeira, the different warriors, samurais. And I know that you believe that proficiency and form create, a very spiritual and certain specific kind of warrior moving his energy in a specific kind of way that perhaps sends certain vibrations to the spiritual realm. It might even go that deep in some of your cultures. Some people see it that way, some people don't. However, I think there is one vibration that is the loudest, and that is the greatest warrior. The greatest warrior is the top martial artist. He also moves energy, and he does so in a fighting art. That art is nature. Even if he did not train martial arts as I have for over 2 decades, nature, it would be a natural art of war. So no matter how you slice it, martial arts come from nature and the supernatural. And when one is spiritual or religious and does a fighting art with their passion and in a way that reflects their deep devotion and beliefs in their culture and religion or spirituality or spiritual system, he is a martial artist. Period. You might not like his form. You might not like what he's saying. We have to accept and respect the wisest and the best, even when they're mad at us. They are our superiors, so to speak. They are the higher ranking. They are the top ranking, and I am the top ranking, the top martial artist, the top. Okay? So, yes, I have respect for these martial artists who have been doing it longer than I am. I have respect that they know more about their martial art than I know, and perhaps have been studying martial arts in general and the history of it longer than I have. I respect it. But I have not been given my respect. I have not been given my place because of Western culture. You all let these people, interfere with our martial arts relations, if you will, our systems relations, our race and war relations, our fighting arts relations, our way that we relate when it comes to how fighting arts are perceived by everyone, and how different schools should be able to compete with each other, different schools of thought in the martial arts sector of philosophy, of human philosophy. So I've gone over it many times, okay? However, I also believe that certain qualities and ways, I also believe that boxing is a martial way, not in the strict sense as the book would put it, but in a very light, almost superficial sense, because the lack of the emphasis on that which is spiritual. But they went they went in a way that's philosophical. Whenever you go one way with martial arts, it's philosophical. Martial artists are philosophers, whether they see it that way or not. They might not be the most educated and respected philosophers, but we all are philosophers. We have made our choice into our school of thought. We have our specific application and interpretation of it. And one day when we have reached a certain proficiency, we teach it in a certain way that is specific to our understanding and experiences. Does that make sense? So therefore, we are philosophers, and we have a right to weigh in. We are honorable men with a moral code. We have a right to weigh in a country that says we have free speech, even if it makes rich people look bad behind the scenes, even if it makes other martial artists look bad. And if a martial artist starts, expressing disapproval for the other martial artists, not giving them his credit, though I know they are not allowed, and some are even bound by honor, and I'm sorry that you're in this situation, but this is how it is, And they are lowly dogs. And if I was the total commander of every martial artist in the world, the war would start tonight. Surgical strikes, there'd be ninjas creeping up on motherfuckers. Capoeiristas slitting people's throats with razors. You understand me? You Chinese kung fu motherfuckers. You understand me? Chopping motherfuckers up with Chinese broadswords and spears. They'd be throwing knives flying through the fucking air. All hell would break loose, explosives, smokes, The world would be like, what the fuck just happened? And the next day, there would be great change, understanding, and a day of silence, contemplation, retrospection, introspection, and hearts unified in one cause that is not oppressive and does not give a race or a class the upper hand. Morality. Another reason martial artists founded society is the energy of the crowd. Now again, I'm not trying to take away from the African Americans' culture and expressions of capoeira, because I'm not African American. I'm an Igbo. The people who came, they came before me. My family came here. My dad came during the Nigerian Civil War. So I came here. My dad came here during a war with intelligence agencies watching and making sure it played out a certain way, including bringing, natural leaders and smart men who owed the government a debt, for saving their life is one way to look at it, and to giving them information about his family. I think he kind of owed the government. They were there. A lot of people feel like they have a debt of gratitude or something to Masonry. The same thing. When something breaks out, Masons help people out. They hide them in lodges, and they've done stuff like that. Not always, not all the time. They're not always the bravest people. A lot of the time, the governments are Masons too, so they know that they're safe, But yeah, this is how things go, okay? I'm the type of natural leader that they wanted to bring here and groom and to influence the greater black community. And it worked in my father's case, and it certainly did not work in my case, to where, because they didn't bring me here. My dad ended up marrying a white woman, and they were mad because my mom was apparently attractive when she was younger. And they were like, this attractive white woman with this, this hairy black guy, because, they see us as ugly, whether we're handsome or not, especially back then, for the most part. And, they were bitter. They told her, hey, you can't be with this black guy. That's how white society came at my family, when my mom was pregnant with my older brother. America came at my family that way. We're not talking about slavery here. From the start, they did not like my family. And they wanted us to be groomed house niggas. And it blew up in their faces. Now you have this angry black militant guy who's not playing around, and he's keeping tabs of what the government's doing. And he's not doing what his father's doing. He's fighting for honor, And there's a lot of people like, all those old time societies are gone. Sometimes they're not. Sometimes there's a ghost dog type motherfucker who's not playing around. And he expects other people to have their hearts beat in unison with his, to the drum beat of war. Sometimes, motherfuckers, the true Igbo genes express themselves and they say, defend Africa. Defend morality. We will defend them. And that's what I said in my older videos, if you go back, just like that. That's why I said it like that. It might sound a little corny, I don't know how it sounded. But I know I felt it, and I know I'll stick a spear so far up a nigga's ass that the top of his head will have little spear tip poking out. What's that? Oh, damn, when they look down, oh, wow, that's what it, I'm going to keep moving, okay? Just don't stab me too, wild black savage. No, I didn't say it. No, wrong way. No. Sometimes it's the words you use that are the reason you die. And I know that. That's why I told these people in the way that I did. I said, come kill the best. Take my pain away. Let the war begin. Let the minions of hell gather like the two towers in the fucking Lord of the Rings series. You know, let them gather. Let there be explosions and gnashing of teeth, propane tanks exploding, you know, shit like that. And I don't keep explosives or nothing like that. I'm not gonna give these niggas any reason to say we found all this shit, pipe bombs and all. No. That's not how I get down. I'm an Ebo, you know. If anything, I'd have a fucking stash within like 100 miles, you know, with a crate full of weapons, an official crate from official, you know, gun cartels. But no, I don't get that. You know, that's not what's cracking here. There's no fucking plot to overthrow the nation. This is me fighting for honor. So all you white people, calm down. You're like, the Nigerian Civil War. What if there's a civil war here? And they team up with the Panthers. And calm your nerves, okay? I'm fighting for honor. That's the business. You understand me? And I'm with it. Just think about me with 2 suitcases and the most expensive suit you've ever seen, walking in the most expensive building in the most expensive room, talking to the most expensive type motherfuckers and calling them a bunch of spiritual bottom feeder pussies as I put both suitcases on the fucking desk, pop them over, and grab 2, you know, smaller submachine guns, we'll say. After I've been training it for a long time, lifting weights in a certain way, trying different stances, different, you know, tying them to my body in different ways, you know, motherfuckers, you know, click, 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 click. I throw them to the side, reach into my coat, 2 pistols come out, 2 matching Berettas. Not even the most efficient or best pistols, but they look cool. Anyway. Boom, 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 boom. Line them all up, right? At this point, they've all been shot like 10 times each. But I'm still going. I take out a fucking dirty, Harry-sized gun. Are any of you still alive? If you are, you might want to get up and run. If you're feeling lucky. So, let me know. Are you devils feeling lucky? Are you punk? You know? And I shoot them up again. And by this time, the police start coming around. What? Start, you know, with it, they make a perimeter. This nigger's not going nowhere. Where's he going? Nowhere. We got this guy. Yeah, all that shit he's talking on the internet. Yeah. Now it's our turn, buddy. It's our turn. You know? The SWAT team enters. You know, certain tactics. You know? I feel something strange, something similar to being aroused as I start rubbing a certain button. I start fondling it. I put it on the table. We have eyes inside. He has some kind of button. Call him back, call him back. I walk down the corridor. I grab some bitch by the hair. I start dragging her on the fucking ground. I say, no offense, lady, but you're working for fucking scum, and, you know, I'm a poet. And I have, you know, great imagination. And, you know, I figure, what the hell? Let's do things in a very dramatic theater, kind of thespian fashion. So I start grabbing the bitch. I start dragging her. You know, they say, okay, we got eyes. He's moving to the different room. He must be high or something. He left the detonator behind. Move. All things moving. Boom, boom, boom. I pick up my cell phone. Boom. Boom. That's all she wrote. So it goes like this. There are a bunch of, how should I put this? There's a certain fruit that's green, okay? And I know what it is, but you get my point. There's a certain group, a certain ethnic grouping of Caucasians, shall we say. And they learned from Egypt, like everyone else. The old learned it through the grapevine. They learned it through traveling, because England and Ireland are on islands, and they had canoes, and they traveled their white ass fucking down there, yeah. 1 or 2 of them. For them to turn around and say, oh, we were the pharaohs. Bullshit. Can you imagine, you know, a bunch of people who think like me, seeing a bunch of, you know, white guys come in canoes and being impressed, you know? Mr. Canoe Guy, look up, yeah, we're building fucking pyramids, buddy. We're not, you know, call me crazy, but I'm not exactly in awe of your little canoe and that you're a little pale from not being in the sun. When I stay inside in my pyramid, you know, I start losing pigment too. So what the fuck do you want? Oh, we're just here to, you know, enjoy the view and take some notes. Okay. But if later on, just so we're clear, if later on your ancestors claim that you did this and not us, based on those notes, I will inspire my descendants to fucking kill you in the martial art traditions of Africa. It's a deal. You row the boat, row your canoe gently wherever the fuck we are. Let's just go back the way we came and hope we get that far. Yeah, like we're gonna listen to those savages. You know? If I knew how to write, I'd write it down right now. We're not gonna listen to those savages. I guess we'll wait for the Sumerians, then we'll write it down. Where was I? Oh, yeah. The nerve. Your ancestors, your descendants. I won't even be alive, buddy. And I don't give a shit about my race or my family. I just want to look good when I get back home. Oh, hi. Yes, indeed. Fast forward time. Several thousand years. I'm here waiting for you. In your home. Making a video. This is my last video. I've killed 2,000 people. High-ranking members of secret societies. To send them a message that you do not fuck with the descendants of Horus. You don't. You fucking jackals, you do not. I think they got the message. Now I'm here waiting for the last one. He's a historian. And at the end of his article, he said something along the lines of, there are certain Afrocentrics on YouTube. Some of them are even mixed with white that claim that Egypt was black to try to make themselves feel better. I took exception to that. And so I'm here waiting. And when he comes through that front door, I'm going to pistol whip him on the right side of his forehead in a very specific spot for a specific effect. I'm then going to grab him by the shirt collar. I'm going to pick him up. So I do a lot of bicep curls. Just pick him up with my hatred. Put his face right next to mine. And I'm going to say, I didn't like your article. In fact, I don't like you very much. And this is what happens when the people you want to kill already write an article that insults your, how shall we say, better sensibilities. No, your sacred sense of honor. No, your sacred duty has been encroached upon by scum who seek to limit your power. No, all that and reflexive honor triggered by devils doing a specific kind of spiritual, depravity or spiritual action that is dark, twisted, contorted, and disgusting. And since that is what you chose, I'm going to fucking kill you. Now, not everybody fighting for honor thinks the way I do. But who sets the fucking, stage? The prince. Other African princes are watching. Yeah, those Igbo guys, they used to be leopard killers. They're a bunch of geeks now at Yale. Not all of us, motherfucker. Boom! Now, kids, when I upload that on YouTube, I'm going to kind of blank that out so I can upload this video, But anyway, I'm not saying you shouldn't go to Yale, you shouldn't study. Stay in school, by all means. The point is, do I look like some fucking puppet for the white man? I'm an African warrior. You can mix me with this, that. You can move me to Antarctica. I'm an African warrior. You can move to Mars and start a colony. I'm an African warrior. That's my nature. That's who I am. You can't separate me from my nature. It's who I am. It's part of who I am. It's the most important part. And part of that nature is being a spiritual person, an innately spiritual being. Don't let them confuse you about that. Mental health wants people to believe that there is no spiritual realm. Or that it's just a bunch of weird vegan hippies going, doing yoga, saying, it's so wonderful. I feel it in my spirit. So people get played out. and everyone else will be an atheist. And all patriarchal thought will be destroyed. You know, I don't know why I was so harsh with my mother. Well, I'll see in a second. Just happens to walk by right now. So let's get into this issue of women, shall we? I'll tell you one thing. Women are right to demand their role be defined. I disagree about what their role is, but they are right to demand and to want to demand that better treatment and that their role be defined. I disagree with how they're going about it and how things should be. It's really the main disagreement, you know, and is a result of society being broken down. For the same reason we have a large inmate population is the same reason women are being mistreated. These things are connected. These are transferable ideas. Oh, got a bloody nose, my bad. Hold on. So, basically, we need to return to who we are, and women will be treated better naturally. Doesn't that sound nice? Naturally. Oh, naturally. Oh, naturally it would happen. But then the niggers might get their shit together. And then they might challenge my position. I mean, what other royal family does the world know? Just the Saudis and us? Who cares about everyone else? The niggers start being royalty too? What then? You know? Every nigger walking around, I'm a prince. I happen to be the king of this tribe in this country, and I won't be treated this way. I know who I am now. You know? We got a problem, sir. It goes like this. The blacks used to naturally separate their caste system. They had kings and slaves. When we brought them here, you mixed them all together, you fucking moron. There's a reason you don't keep this, you kill the king or you treat them differently than the slaves. Because when they mix together, they all have the warrior genes of the king, you fucking moron. Now look what you've done. And they're coming right for you. Boy, they are coming right. Oh, they're here right now. I'll be under the desk, sir. No offense. I'm a bitch, or I would stand by you. Anyway, sorry for being distracted. The point is, nature, you know, how we naturally relate. That's how I knew these people hadn't really done anything wrong, you know, or they did, if they did, that they were feeling bad about it because I saw the good in them, their nature, you know. It's the same reason. Like once you confuse people with intoxicants and cultures that aren't theirs, when they relate to each other, it's hard for them to see the good. They see something else. They see what Babylon wants them to see. My grandma the other day said, do you see the good in people? And I know she hears me yelling and stuff, and she knows that I'm a good guy. Like she's a smart old lady. She used to be a teacher. But, you know, she has her problems, you know. But anyway. Or professor at a college, as a matter of fact. I think I'm a math or science professor. Anyway. She said, do you see the good in people? You know? And of course, I knew, you know, this is the type of thing that misconception people have. You know, I'm a nice guy. I do see the good in people. But as I'm making this video, on some subconscious level, as I started saying that, it reminded me of that. And I said, you know what? Let's explore this for a moment. And that's where we're at right now. So, if you can't see the good in someone, do you respect them? You know how I used to say, you know, part of the reason women are getting raped is because men don't respect them. The other day I was thinking, you know what? I put this meme on my Facebook, and I was like, and I woke up this morning in a different state of mind. Well, what really made me do it? You know, to put that meme to say, you know what? These bitches deserve to get raped because they made themselves in a way that men don't respect. And why do they not respect them? Not just because they're taught by Babylon confusing them, because they don't see that good in their nature because Babylon confused them. You have to understand the specifics and break it down to understand what path and philosophy you should follow, what is in accord with nature and how things actually work. You know them by their works. You know God by his works, and we are part of his works, and you can see good in God and people if you have a natural philosophy. But if you have a Babylonian, Western, materialistic dog philosophy, my good people of this planet, and what will you see? You will see the image of the devil in everything. the hand of the devil. And you will be taught to celebrate the qualities of the devil and only despising them within some kind of a hypocritical, hypnotic state of mind, saying, how dare you treat me like this? With an appalling inability to look inside yourself like the wise what? The wise who? The wise archer. The wise archer. A Nubian arrow that you didn't even know where it came from. As you were aiming it at me, now it's turning around and it's hitting you. And you will die spiritually and be reborn naturally